All right, so we're back. We're going to still working on our Chapter 9, Section 2 notes, or Unit 9, Section 2 notes, which corresponds to Chapter 7 in the book. We're just finishing off still our examples from the notes. We got 3 examples to go. We are working on inverse functions, and so we're trying to find the inverse of this function. And the process says to take f of x, we're going to replace it with y. So y equals 5x minus 7. After I've done that, second step is to then switch places of x and y. So this will be x equals 5y minus 7. Okay. And now to find that inverse, solve for y. So we're going to have to add 7 to both sides. That'll give me x plus 7 equals 5y. And again, we're solving for y, so now we need to divide both sides by 5. And we'll get y equals x plus 7 over 5. Just leave it like that. That's fine. Okay, and then the last step is to replace y with f inverse of x equals x plus 7 over 5. Okay, so this is the inverse. This x plus 7 over 5 is the inverse of 5x minus 7. Again, if we were graphing these would be reflections of each other across the line y equals x, which we'll see in a second when we do these graphs. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and graph these. Now, these are linear, so we're going to graph the line. Okay, let's also put in our y equals x line where we're going to reflect across. So let's put that in here. Y equals x, so we know we're reflecting over this line. Y equals x. Okay, and let's go ahead and graph that original. This is our f of x. I'm going to graph it in blue. And so remember, y equals mx plus b, right? B is our y-intercept, m is our slope. So we have a y-intercept of positive 6, slope of 3, which think of that as 3 over 1. And remember, slope is rise over run. So we're going to go up 3 over 1 in the positive direction. Y-intercept of 6, that's right here. Right? Remember, where you cross the y-axis is your y-intercept. And slope of 3, so up 3 over 1. Or I could go down 3 and back 1. That'll still keep me in the positive direction. And after getting a few points, go ahead and use a nice ruler to make it look real good. There is our f of x graph. And so we're going to now go ahead and get the inverse of that. And it'll be, again, a mirror image. It'll be a reflection over this green line, y equals x. But to find it, let's apply what we did up here, right? So we're going to replace f of x with y. We're going to swap their places. And now solve for y. So let's go ahead and subtract 6 from both sides. And you get x minus 6 equals 3y. Divide by 3. Get y equals, now I am going to, because we are going to graph this, I'm going to go ahead and break this up. Each piece gets divided by 3. So this is like an x over 3 minus, and I'll just write it like this, I guess, to start, minus 6 over 3. Each piece divides by 3. And then we replace y with f inverse of x. And then I'm going to rewrite this x over 3. That's the same as 1/3 times x. Same thing. X over 3 is the same as 1/3 times x. 6 over 3 is 2. Right, so here is our inverse, and let's go ahead and graph it again. Y equals mx plus b. b is a negative 2. This time we have a slope of 1 over 3. Rise over run. Up 1 over 3 in the positive direction. Up 1 over 3. Up 1 over 3. Or down 1 back 3. Down 1 back 3. And get that line. Using my ruler so it looks good. And that is our f inverse of x. So there you go. And again, you can see the blue and the red. They are mirror images. They've been flipped, basically, over that diagonal line y equals x. That's what's happening with these inverse functions. Let's do one last graphing one, And we'll call it good. Okay, so same idea. Let's go ahead and get that diagonal line we're going to reflect over, that y equals x again. So y equals x. Okay, and oh, let's see, let's go orange and purple this time. Sure. So my original, I'll do with the purple. I've got 2/3 x plus 2. Again, y-intercept of 2. Slope of 2/3 up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3, right? Rise over run. Up 2 over 3. You just kind of get the idea. Enough points to make a real good line here. And that is our f of x, our original. Okay, and so we're going to reflect about that. Line y equals x. And let's get the inverse here. And again, we'll do exactly what we did with those previous 4 examples now. We're going to replace f of x with y. 2/3 x plus 2. And then swap x and y's positions. X equals 2/3 y plus 2. Now solve for y. So let's go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides to get x minus 2 equals 2/3 y. Now, from here, to get rid of that 2/3, this is 2/3 times y. This is going to take you back to some old algebra stuff, Algebra 1. To get rid of that fraction, what we can do is multiply by its reciprocal. If we multiply by 3/2. And like always, we got to do it to both sides, and then be careful. Since I'm multiplying to the left, which is an expression, I do have to make sure I distribute. Each piece is going to multiply by 3/2. Why does that clear it out? Well, the 3 on the bottom and the 3 on top cancel. 2 on top and 2 on bottom cancel. So I just have y. That's the nice thing. That's why we use that multiplying by the reciprocal. We distribute 3/2 through here, right? So we're going to distribute that through. So that'll be a 3/2 x. Just leave it like that. 3/2 x minus, now what's 3/2 times 2? Well, this is like a 2 over 1, so it's a 2 on top, 2 on bottom. They cancel. 3/2 times 2 is 3. Okay. And now I'll go ahead and replace y with f inverse, and I'm going to switch its direction here. So f inverse of x equals the 3/2 x minus 3. There is our inverse, and let's go ahead and graph it. Again, we have a y-intercept of -3. That's down there. A slope of positive 3 over 2. So up 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. Or down 3 and back 2. Get you the same spot. And there is our f inverse of x. Again, that mirror image over that green y equals x line. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. We're doing, again, Unit 9, Section 2, which matches Chapter 7, Section 2 in your textbook. This is inverse relations and functions, finals inverse. It's really not too bad when you look at it this way. I know that it seems a little intimidating when you're having to try to read the textbook on your own, but hopefully that helped. They're really not that bad. So good luck, guys, and we'll talk to you later.